Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Oh gosh, Lord Jesus, help me. Let's talk about the Watts case. I need a beer. Come on, Patreon, love. It's only $9.99. Oh boy. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh boy. What's up, guys? I got my Truth and Transparency shirt on. Man, I really want to see Shan Watts' phone records. What would you like to know about him? What would you like to know about those records? How can I help you with those records? Hi, all. I'm here from AD's channel. What's up? I just want to say thank you. Oh my gosh, Australia. I want to see Chris Watts's. I want to see Shenan's. I want to see this. It was interesting to hear like the hello newbies. Hello, I'm just letting it all. Come on in chat, love. Come on over here, Lana's Patreon. I don't have Patreon, guys, but I welcome all the new people that are coming over. Mama 3, gotta like this time frame. It's only like 9 where you're at. I went through NK's phone records and now want to see Shanann watches since you have it. I gotta think through all this shit. LaBelle. Oh, here from AD's channel. What is your theory? I don't have theories. No theories. Hi, Lana. Thank you for the AD live chat tonight. New to your channel. Hi, Karen. Tony. I'm officially hooked. Super shocked at how knowledgeable you are. Thank you. I could probably recite that damn discovery inside and out. I feel bad. I didn't get to answer a lot of people's questions because I wasn't able to look at chat the way that I normally can. So I can kind of try to do that. What do you think of AD's theory he shared at the end? I don't think the phone would make that plan blow up. So I don't think, oh my God, we can't get into Shanann's phone. That doesn't change. That wouldn't change the plan, in my opinion. I'm a logical thinker, and let's say that was the plan. There's no way that your NK's getting an Alexis, putting everybody else in there, and you're taking the phone, and you're doing with whatever his theory is. But the phone doesn't matter, in my opinion. The phone wouldn't change that. Based on circumstantial evidence, Weld County did not say who killed the children, right? And Chris's first theory or statement or whatever was that Shanann killed the kids. The DA could have squashed that if he just would have done his job. You mean you won't discuss your theory or you don't have one? Just curious. I'm wondering if you know, but understandably can't discuss some stuff. When you think a lot of people in the case lied It's like, I don't think a lot of people in the case lied. I think that a lot of people in this case were lied to by Chris and by Shanann. That's why then people, when they were interviewed, had crazy things to say, in my opinion. When I first looked at this case, I said, well, I get that he has a girlfriend. I get the whole Amber Fry thing with Scott Peterson, right? But they have kids. And NK knew about everything except maybe the baby. But I believe that anybody that just could have went on Shanann's Facebook page would have seen that, because Shanann's Facebook page was public, right? But I went and looked at, remember that letter that she wrote, that Nicole Kessinger wrote? She knew about the baby because they whited stuff out of that. And I believe that on, was it July 25th? No, July. When did she go over there with carpet to clean, and he was cleaning the carpet? I think that's when the baby stuff happened, that she found out. I think what she cared about is that she didn't want her friends to know that Shanann was pregnant, though. And that's why she wanted him to disable his Facebook page. And it was more about, okay, Chris, it's one thing if I know, but like for my friends to know that your wife's pregnant, like that's just like gonna look really bad, and I just don't want that type of thing. And I think that's what they talked about at Lazy Dog. I think that was something that was brought up. I also think that she made him pay with a debit card on purpose. And it was like, well, no, if you guys are done or whatever, and this is over, and you're moving out on Monday, then you can pay with your regular card. And I think that's how she knew what color the card was. That's why it was a big deal that she knew about that. Because Chris had those cards in his wallet, and there was over 20 some dollars on them. So why wouldn't any guy take out those cards, lay it on the bill, and then lay the other card on top of it? That's what you do. Yeah, they didn't. I'm not even sure that Shanann Watts and Chris Watts knew what the other one was telling people, so it was just one big miscommunication. Well, it's no big secret though. Like, he was like legit telling her. So as if, okay, in North Carolina, if you go based on the phone records, he's on the phone every single night in North Carolina talking to NK. Where's Shanann? Where's he doing this? Is he saying he's going for a walk and he's talking to her like that? But every single night, and they didn't talk for like 10 minutes. They talked for like 88 minutes, 47 minutes, 50. Like, it was a long period of time. So, if she checked the phone records in Arizona, like I believe that she did, it would have taken you back. She would have been able to go back, as far as she wanted to see how long that Chris had been conversing with this person. Lisa, hi girl. Sarah, what do you think about NK gooing? Yeah, that wasn't even, they only did 6 weeks back. And they just didn't take, so when they extracted this data, the guy that was doing it is typing up and pulling things, right? That wasn't even looked at. That they didn't even go back that far to get that data. So it doesn't make any sense that would even been there to be taken. So 100%, I believe, without a doubt, 2017 wasn't even being talked about. Do I think that Chris knew Shanann in 2017? No. Does the family think that? Absolutely not. They said no. So them knowing each other and engaging in anything sexual before what we know of, that's not true. I've looked into that. I just don't think you plan to annihilate your family because of 6 weeks. And it's not even like a total of 6 weeks, because you were in North Carolina for a week. Things were slow right when she left. And you guys didn't have sex until I believe a week later. I want to say I thought it was like July 4th. So how are you just all of a sudden start talking about like, hey, let's just blow up your family and we're gonna make millions of dollars? I'd be like, what? I don't know. I just think that that's fucking crazy. Like, that's not logic, guys. That's not logic. What's logic is let's follow the evidence. And that's how I approached it. Why are people, how do you explain calling Primrose? Why? Why aren't anybody calling Chris? Why wouldn't Nicole Atkinson call Chris and be like, listen, you son of a bitch. I was with her all weekend. Now I can't get a hold of her. Where is she? I called Sandy and I told her about what happened this weekend. Why didn't anybody call Chris and say, WTF? What type of friends are these people? Is Chad in here? What up, Gigi? Cheers. She was looking for wedding dresses. She was into it. She was also looking up gangbangs. For being, honest. I'm confused because that's speculation and or a theory. Sorry if I'm being direct. No, it's not. It's my nature. I'm trying to be as tactful. Isn't the point of checking facts is to form a theory? Otherwise, why are we discussing a legal case? I eliminate things. So you're not being any which way. Great, great question. So what I do is I eliminate things. And so what I say, is this possible? That's how I do it. Is this possible? Is this possible? And when things you just start eliminating things versus saying, this is my theory. Is this possible? So is what AD said at the end there possible? I guess the thing that would not make sense to me with that is how do you explain blowing up the Lexus on Anna Darko's property with the kids and her in the car? Why did she go out there? She just went out there to go see him. But it would be a big accident. You're going to collect all this money. I don't get. I get when houses and stuff blew up and in that area because of something. I remember that. I think they had money on Frankie as well. I don't know. I'm not them. They were not friends on Facebook, Chad. They were not friends on Facebook. I'm saying that Shanann, without a doubt, found out about NK to the fullest in Arizona. No question in my mind about it. Do I believe there's possibility that she knew before then? Maybe. But I also think that there's also a possibility that she was blindsided to think that, Chris isn't like that. He's into himself and he's doing all this working out. Well, he has no game. Remember that all that talk. I think that she's probably in a little bit of denial there. And she wasn't giving him any credit with he was busting his ass. He was getting in shape. Not many compliments were going his way from his wifey. Where did the 10,000 go that Shan had? I've always said, I did the math. There's money missing. I agree. She didn't pay the mortgages for that would have been 3 months for August. Also, without there being any daycare money needing to come out, that had been like money that would have been there. Where's all this money? And then she didn't transfer over her Thrive money. So I do believe that Shanann was stashing money. I think that that's which a lot of people do when they're going to be leaving somebody or they think someone's leaving them. You give us a lot to think about. Thank you. He had no game. I think yes. Yes. You just so Shanann, remember, she was the manager of a cell phone store. Shanann Watts is queen of scams. She knows how to finagle what she's doing. Shit, she signed up for nursing school so that she could get the money that she would get in student loans, and then didn't go to school. Who do you think she gave money to? I don't think she gave it to anybody. I think that she was. You'd have to follow their financial. That's why I said I wanted to see the financials. Were there big deposits? I mean, were there big withdrawals of cash? Was she using an app to move money? I'm trying to think. In 2018, what was I using? Were apps a big thing back then with like Venmo, Cash App? I don't think they were big then, were they? I just think you also can't have something both ways. Either Chris Watts is a moron, or you think Chris Watts has some brains. I took a bunch of Black Label and a bunch of patches and I put 4 on at once just to see what I thought. Lana, I found info on Progressive Builders and that they sued Shanann and ended it in 2017. But Shanann Watts having to pay back $135,000 by December 31, 17. So she took the school loans, and you can't put school loans on BKs. Was she paying on the loans? No. So how do I want to say this? She okay. They were house broke. When her mom and dad lived with her, they paid $1,000 a month, so that dropped it down from being, what was it, $2,800 a month to being $1,800. When her parents left, that $1,000 a month that they were getting, they were no longer getting. Plus, then she put the kids into Primrose, so it goes from you're not getting 1,000 plus you're adding 2,500 to your monthly bills, something like that. 24, 22, yeah, 24. It's like $1,200 per kid per month. Yeah. So you're looking at, that's a close to $3,500, $3,400, $3,300 swing a month once her parents moved out. Once again, I know that Chris didn't do the finances, but remember, like, she said, oh, Chris loved when I got paid on Tuesdays. Once again, is that a lie? Because he was waiting for like the deposit to come through. I mean, That's all for show. I didn't pay attention to anything that they did on social media because it was all for the business. But at the end of the day, Chris, you would have known how much money you were making. You'd know just two main bills, which would be your mortgage and the kids' daycare. Right there, you're looking at 28, 25, 30, what is it? $5,300 a month right there. Not a grocery, not a bill, nothing. 5,300 times 10 months is 53,000. So looking at 60 grand per year to pay daycare and your mortgage. How much was Chris making? 75,000, 80,000. Drug deal going on? No, it wasn't that at all. I think it's a lot. It's not as conspiracy theorist as people think. It's they didn't qualify for that. There's no way they qualified for that. Do you think NK may have been sent as a collector, so to speak? No, I don't. I just wonder if she was paying off the student loan. No, she wasn't paying off shit. That happened. So that student loan, that when she did all that, when that nursing stuff, that happened in the first go round with the bankruptcy. So I don't know if you guys ever got a hold of their bankruptcy. It was all credit cards. Student loans were on there. Medical bills. Yeah. But that little nursing stunt happened with the first bankruptcy. This would have been bankruptcy number 2. So he can buy lunch once a week. Lisa Hunt, $1,500. Her parents paid rent. No, $1,000. Living way beyond their means. It's exactly what they were doing. They were living way beyond their means. Great tonight, Lana. Thank you. Yeah, she did. Sorry, followed and here. Love you. Love you, Kathy. Love you. Is that for me? I don't even know. I'm starting to think a little of both played in. Is Lana here? What? Lana's right here. They had to hella hurt her. Chris made a comment about that she did something crazy every year and that they would get a huge tax return back. Don't know. I didn't get into all that with him, but just fucking asinine. Love the hair bun, Lana. Oh, thanks, Chatty. I know, but you still have to pay off the loan. The only way you can get it wiped is if you're on disability. They got it. They got that loan. It approved. I don't know how they did it. I have no idea how they did it, but they included that. I don't know what happened. I swear to God, Lisa, I was blown away. I was like, wait a second. Yeah. What it came down to for me is when Shanann found out that this happened and she's in Arizona, how do you believe that Shanann would have reacted? Does Shanann plan something, or is Shanann heartbroken? Is she pissed? Is she like, oh, hell no, I'm going to that house and I'm telling them what's up? Like, that was, she either did one or the other. Either, she's in a plot and plan, or how is she going to take on the news that she just, found out? We're talking about her putting everything together in Arizona. She came over from Love with AD. That's why there's 2 screens. Oh yeah, because I'm using my computer, so I was to be able to pull stuff up. It's easier. He knew. Yeah, crazy. I worked on a. Yeah. She was texting him asking what he wanted from the grocery store. If she knew she wasn't going to wait under that until she was home. It's because actually, if you go and look, she was doing. It was like she was hot and cold. There was be passive aggressive. Like she would, you know when you get like someone that's texting you a bunch of stuff and then, okay, no, baby, whatever. Like I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna get this. Well, where's the 15 messages before that the gang unit wanted to leave out? It's because she was like raising holy hell on him. And the girls knew that. The girls said that, but she was trying to like keep her cool. No, she was being passive aggressive with her texting. But see, like the gang unit, they're the ones that released the timeline. They only put what they wanted to put. That's them's the facts. Where's all of Chris's stuff with NK? Why aren't you putting that in the timeline? And I believe that they hid all that stuff because, and what Shanann was Googling and stuff while in Arizona because it would show that she knew. And it would give more credibility to his story. Nicole Atkinson knew whatever she was planning on doing, however she was planning on handling this, she knew. That's just why I believe that she didn't tell the truth. I mean, you guys aren't going to believe this. So this is the part I really wanted to show people. Let's see if I can. Okay, do you guys see how that 12 is different than the 40? It's got the background. Like the 12 is in different, and then it's like a whiteout, and then it's in different pen. See how like in the house, that's different pen. They whited out that number that was behind the 12 and changed it on his written form when he was going through the stuff that had happened that day. Okay? Can you guys see that? This is what they did. They whited all this shit out. Look at this. Why? Why do you have to mess with those times? Oh, because of the phone records. Because of, and when I say the phone records, what were, both of them had push notifications on their phone, which meant that if you got a notification to your phone, it's considered a timeline transaction. And that's how I was able to put things together. It was, wow, I'm going to have to skim Discover again. What you need to do is you need to print out all the handwritten stuff, and you're going to be able to see what they did. Let me see. but that time, and it was whited out and it was changed and it says 1240. 1242 is really important. But at 1240, God, I can't believe I just closed that. I didn't mean to do that. He's saying, well, they changed it to 1240. It wasn't 1240 though. Whatever time he originally said, this is what he says happened, and I was able to put it together and found it. A few more efforts by Nicole to reach her. He was trying to call her at 1240. A few more efforts by Nicole to reach her. What does that even mean? A few more efforts by Nicole to reach her. 1240. 1 p.m. I'm now on my way home to check on my family. 2. I arrive home, open the garage door, and get inside the house. $12.20. Again, this has changed because he didn't call that 12:20. He called that 12:10. Oh, but it's changed. Let's see. Oh, right there. It's a different. See, that says 12:20. See how above it it's 12:10 and it's whited out. But when you print these out, you can see it. You see the different the pen skinnier. I did all this on Jay's channel, and then I redid it all, and then Andrea Powers deleted it off of my YouTube channel. I have to find my stuff. On Jesus' channel about the text messages that had been tampered with, you said you found it when you copied one of the papers. Yeah, they tampered with the gang unit tampered with Ann Meadows' text messages because they were trying to make it seem like Chris lied to Ann Meadows, and he never did. My hair is so long. Needs to be highlighted. What's tomorrow? Is tomorrow Wednesday yet? This is the longest that it's gone. I'm not going to highlight in forever. I've been busy. I've been busy doing God knows what with my life. Let's see. I think it would be in my email. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. I think I have one of my Excel sheets I can pull up. YouTube. You want to see this. This is good. How is that? Damn it. Oh, anal eye. Oh, I found it. Okay. I got it. Woo, we're in luck, boys and girls. Come on. Oh, yes. Okay, I can share screen. Okie dokie. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Okay. Is that big enough? I'm telling you, she, like, look at these times. This is what I was just amazed by. I'm trying to, I'll zoom in as much as I can without. So what I did is I took all this stuff and I put it on my own timeline. And these numbers all the way to the left that you see here, like 149-779-149-784, that would be all consecutive text messages. And this is Shanann's phone at 6:22 a.m. Shanann texts, "This has been the worst week of my life." 6:22. "You haven't fought for me this week. It's only the kids. You fucking leave tomorrow. I need help." This was the last day in North Carolina. The gang unit gets it wrong, and they say that Shanann leaves for Arizona on Thursday. I mark that down. The reason that they messed that up is due to the picture of on and they do it on purpose, but it was about because they try to tell everybody that Chris sent Shanann that picture of the covered up baby doll. And that's not true. Right here, Shanann says to NA and Cassie in a three-way, "I will fight for full custody." Does not want divorce right away. I mean, when you go back and you read this stuff of all the stuff that they were talking about before she left for Arizona, "I will fight for full custody." Why are you fighting for full custody? Chris is a great dad. It was just like all over the place. Shanann at 2:54 in the morning texts Addie, "Watts refused to touch me. I canceled gender reveal. I need good news." Between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., Addie asked Shanann if she has gone through Chris's phone. She says no. Shanann Watts accepts a prayer chain focused on their relationship. My question was who was all on the prayer chain? At 6:09 in the morning on August 9th, this is the Thursday morning, Shanann texts Chris. Why would you text Chris at 6:09 a.m.? "Do you want to find out together with me tonight on baby's gender?" This message is not found in Watts' phone. And what they were trying to say is that he like deleted it. And I'm trying to say, what if his phone was at home and she sent it so that it would be sent from her phone and then deleted it so that he didn't see that, she was making these text messages. At 9:20 a.m., a log entry appears for the secret calculator in Watts' phone. Okay. Well, This was the first time this has ever happened where a log entry appears. Nothing happens other than a log entry. Do you know what that means? That means someone tried to log into your calculator app. Well, why would Chris log into the calculator app but not do anything with it? He's never done that before. So that was out of character. Again, this is the Thursday before she's leaving. At 10:06, she texts Sarah her ultrasound pictures from the 4D place. Shanann Watts had a scheduled doctor's appointment today. She canceled that, just like she canceled the one on Wednesday. This is where at 11:44 a.m., gang unit says that Watts' phone took the Dow pic. Then where is Watts' phone image? If Chris Watts took the picture, then why didn't the gang unit use the image from Chris Watts' phone? Why did they use Shanann's phone image? Okay. So I went and looked. I have the screenshot of and the time of when she posted the image on Facebook, 11:46. So you guys explain this to me. If Chris sent this picture supposedly, which the gang unit, when I say the gang unit, this is what Weld County wants you to believe, that Chris took that picture and sent it to Shanann, and it was like a, oh my God, this is so creepy type thing. That's how they wanted it to appear. Then explain this to me. Chris sends this at 11:44. By 11:46, within 2 minutes, Shanann had received it and then decided, oh my God, let me put this on Facebook and say, oh, look what Chris just sent me. But her wording was different. No. That picture was taken. It was uploaded to Facebook. You wouldn't just get that picture and then immediately go on Facebook and send it. You only have 2 minutes to do it. And then the icing on the cake was the metadata on the picture. It did come from Shanann's phone. But why are you trying to make it seem like it came from Chris's phone? Stupid. And I was able to put that together because of the sequence of the metadata numbers. Chris's phone wasn't even to that number, so it's impossible. And check this out. Shanann sends a text to Sarah saying Chris Watts agreed to go away next weekend. She didn't even ask Chris yet. Doesn't even ask him yet. But she's telling her friend that he already agreed. Then she says, on the same time that she posted that Facebook message with the Dow pic, then at 1:44 she sends this text to Chris and says, why did you cancel your Facebook account? How did she know he canceled it? I believe that she was trying to tag him in something and couldn't. And that would be the Dow pic. She was trying to tag him in the Dow pic. But he never answers that. Then at 3:07, Shanann texts Chris, can you be there Monday to drop Bella off with me first day? He answers that and says, sure. 3:45, Shanann confirmed text about the book she ordered. 7:37, Chris texts that he was taking tomorrow off work with his coworker. He logged on to Instagram. He usually didn't do that. He was Googling prices for an Audi. Because remember, now this to me was important because he's looking because he knows that he needs to get a vehicle because he can't use his work truck with his kids. So he's looking and Googling prices for an Audi Q7. So if you're going to plan on, killing your family, why are you looking at vehicles that you can take your kids around in? Then Shanann texts Cassie at an NA about moving to Brighton. Shanann, this is at 9/11. Shanann Watts announced the name of the baby. This is all on Thursday night. Sarah Nude asked how the talk went with Chris. Oh my God, much better. He kissed me before he went to sleep or downstairs in the basement. Oh yeah, before he went downstairs in the basement. Shanann Watts told Sarah she wanted to tell her the gender, but keep it a secret. Okay, now this is, you know, when someone is telling people a bunch of stuff and you end up telling the person the same thing because you don't realize that you told them? Shanann then texts Sarah at 10:27. Sarah, she says, "We are going away next weekend, just us." And I'm putting this in parentheses. She already told this to her. She told this to her at, remember I told you that Chris didn't even know about this. She just, right here. 1:38 p.m. She hadn't even asked. She hadn't even asked Amanda Thayer about babysitting yet. Chris agreed to go away next weekend. So you already told her that at 1:30 in the afternoon. But I think she's that type of person that would just send that stuff and she just likes to yap. Oh, 10:27. Just us. We're going away next weekend. Well, you already told her that like 7 hours ago. Okay. Here we go. Now let's get to the day. All right. 1:25 a.m. Shanann to Cassie in a text that they landed. Then at 2:01 a.m., NA texts Shanann Watts and Cassie in that same three-way to say that we made it home safely. 2:01 a.m., NA is doing the texting. NA is not home yet. NA doesn't get home, according to the 360 Life app, until 2:10, unless she stayed at Shanann's and says, we made it home safely. Because her ass was driving in a vehicle, supposedly at 2:01. Then, 7:40. Chris Watts staged a text about taking the kids somewhere. And 8:25. And now, none of this matters. This is what matters right here, off to the left. 153305. See how they're in order here? Everything's accounted for until you get to 3314. It is unaccounted for. They refused to give me this. If you look through everything, there's one timeline transaction before 10:06 that they leave out. A timeline transaction is anything that notifies your phone to do something. It's a push notification. Here you go. Right here. Chris Watts calls the school at 8:15 a.m. Sandy calls the school between 8:15 and 8:30. Why did Sandy call the school right after Chris Watts called to do the staged call? Why did the school call before texting or calling your daughter? Okay, because we're going to go back to her phone. We have Chris Watts, so, technically this is staged. Then 8:25, he calls for 23 seconds. Then 9 a.m., Cassie texted Shanann. 9:05 was the alarm on her phone that popped up about the doctor's appointment. 9:46 a.m. was a debt collector calling from Minnesota number. 3313 at 10:03 a.m. Cassie texting again. Oh, let me look at the questions. Okay. I'm looking back at chat now. All right. Now, where is the text message? Remember, if you go listen to NA's interview, she was texting Shanann that morning. Also, Cassie texted NA and Shanann when she woke up in the morning. She texted back to the three-way before she did the 9 a.m. just to her phone. That's what's missing. And they had to make it miss on purpose, and they moved it up and moved it down for a reason, because it was to make it seem like any call or communication with a cell phone that isn't an iPhone, that's why Nicole Atkinson's didn't go in there. And so that's why they had to take out that three-way with Cassie, Shanann, and NA. Because when Cassie woke up, she responded to the 201 text saying that we made it home safely. So when Cassie woke up, she responded to that. And then about a couple minutes later, 4 minutes later, she then just texted Shanann privately at 9 o'clock in the morning. NK lost a large chunk of change to Shanann from Dirty South. What? Sorry, wait, what? Oh, whoa. That is not. These girls are deep in a dark, dirty plan against Chris, and it blows up for the world. Boy. Oh, God. Okay, so now this is where I put my little handy dandy stuff on now. There's all these timeline transactions. See, 3314. The 3315, that's the doctor's office calling and leaving a message because she wasn't at her appointment. New subscriber here, love your work. Thank you, Jamie. So then they just decided, though, to cut it off, and they're not going to show any more up until 212. Stage text from Watts, where are you? Then that's when I found out her phone was off then, because his shizzy poo he texted right here. Okay. I'll get to his in a second. Let's just go back to this part, though. Again, this is all red, left out, okay? But here we go. This is what I did then. I was able to put some stuff together. So he was in a three-way. Shanann was in a three-way with Ann Meadows. Ann Meadows' group text message would account for blank number of texts. So I went ahead and counted all of that. And so every time you text, you receive a text when you're in a three-way, like it counts every time something comes in. So I counted every single text message between them, and it accounted for blank number. So that would be how many timeline transactions. Then you have to count the Vivint app. So then I went to Chris's phone. Okay. And at 7:40, there's the stage. 8:25, the 23 seconds. Then they left this one out right here. So there's a missing timeline transaction between 8:25 and 8:26. Okay. Then the 8:26, I was able to fill that in because possibly one of this is Googling the Primrose number, because he didn't have it in his phone. Okay. So that would be the 8:26, because then Then at 8:26, he then calls Primrose but it shows that he didn't have the phone number. Then at 9:05 a.m., Chris calls Ann Meadows. Again, this is in sequence with his phone. So we're only missing right now one timeline transaction then because I'm accounting the Google that they're idiots. Then after the Ann Meadows call, there are two timeline transactions missing. And that would be between 9:05 and 10:10. 9:05, 10:10. I believe that those were Vivint alerts in some capacity because what's one of them going to be? One of them is going to be, see, 9:05 to 10:10. You go back up to Shenanigans, and you got one between 10:03 and 10:06, right? That's missing one, right? Then right after 10:06, you're missing a couple here. If you go back down to Chris's, why can't they have to keep all this out? And it has to do with the Vivint going crazy because that means somebody's in the house. Okay. Then, according to the data, they're saying he was on Google, and at 10:10 a.m., when you switch from a different page on Google, it counts as a timeline transaction. But this is what they want us to believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were him Googling the lyrics to that song. Then it's not till 10:28 a.m. Sandy texts Chris, is Shanann okay? Doesn't say a word about the girls, just is Shanann okay? 10:28 a.m. This would have been after phone calls made to Primrose. Oh, hi, Canadian Mama. Go 10, Sarah. Go 10. Oh, yeah. They did fail him. They did. I've learned a lot. Hi, Lana. Hi. Even Lana laughing at your comments way out there, lady. What? Dum-dum Watts Gum Gum? What is Watts Wants Gum Gum? Oh. Ooh. Yes, Ann Meadows is the real estate agent. Great lives. You did fantastic. Thanks. Yep, you're visible. Oh, thanks. Okay, so she texts that, and then Chris makes an unanswered call to Sandy. The reason why she couldn't answer it is because she is on three-way with Nicole, with Cassie. Okay, but what she's able to do, she doesn't answer it, but she calls him immediately right back, because then all she does is she adds the call in. But that's why she didn't answer at 10:29, because she was on with them, and they're like, no, don't answer. Then just call him right back, and we'll add the call, and we'll all listen in. That's what happened. Okay. Now, the first part of the day, the officer is mixing up cell phones, 40 and 41, which is his work cell phone and which is his personal cell phone. This is the first time that this happens. When the gang unit is busting this up, I make the note of it because they're trying to make it seem like stuff up here was happening with his work phone, and it wasn't. Not sure if it was by accident they did it or if it was on purpose. I saw it, corrected it. Now, 7802, between 10:29 a.m. and 10:33 a.m., this is left out. Again, on purpose. And I believe, again, it's going to have to do with the Vivint or Ann Meadows, because they're going back and forth in texts. Then at 10:33, Aspen Hotel searches, this is what they say, all these timeline transactions. Then you get to 7, 8, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. They refuse to tell us what it is. Then 10:42, Chris Watts called this number for a 2-minute conversation. Then they left out. And God, it's been a minute since I did this. Oh, right here. At 10:41 a.m., NA leaves, according to the Life 360 app, her house to go to Tulip Street in Longmont to look at this house for Cassie. And what's crazy is that that's right where a timeline transaction is left out. People out there. Sandy called Watts again, 10:44. Then there's all these Groupons, all accounted for. Then 10:51, Watts called Sandy and held a 1:12 convo, 1 minute and 12 seconds. According to NA, at this time, she is arriving at the house and stays for 30 minutes to supposedly check on this house that Cassie wanted her to. While she's doing this, Sandy calls the school between 11 and 11:30 a.m. for the second time and tells them not to tell anyone that she called. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Karen. So now 12 between 10:51 a.m. and 12:16, they purposely leave out this timeline transaction. And what is it? It's the 12:10 ding, ding, ding. So somebody went through this and knew what they needed to take out. Like, that's what's sick to me. But they took out the 12:10 Vivint alert that goes off on Chris's phone. Okay. Remember Chris's phone at 12:10? The Vivint alert, because he writes it in his statement. And I was able to snatch this up because remember, you can't catch everything when you're trying to be sneaky. And right here. 12:10. Doorbell visitor Nicole. So he's taking that from his phone, remember? He wrote it in his handwritten statement. I was able to find it, and I was like, boom, that's what that's left out. So they are leaving out a Vivint alert. Because why? Oh, because Nicole's saying that she didn't get there until 12:20. How does this work? It's not possible. Oh, it is if it's not her data. So this is just showing you how I was able to do this. Then and I make a note of that, the NA 360 Life app arriving at 12:20 at the house, staying until 12:47, it should say there. Then the NA 360 Life staging the doctor's visit. NA shutting off Shanann Watts' iPhone at this time, which was when while she was driving. It happens actually down a little further, but now this is where it gets interesting. So much stuff starts going crazy on Chris's phone. Josh texts Watts, have you talked to Shanann Watts? The girls are worried. Picture of a flower. Now they're going to let us know about this Vivint alert because they have no problem telling us about that. Because they think, oh, it's only 3 minutes off the app. Like, that's not a big, just leave that one alone because it's only a 3-minute difference. Swear to God, this is their thought process. Then at 12:18, Chris calls NA. Remember how NA was saying that she was calling him? She never called him. He was always calling her. And that's the first time right there that they talked. 12:18. First time that they talked. Then Watts texts Josh back from when he texted her at 12:16. So that was at 12:21. Then Josh texts Watts back. Then Watts texts Josh back. Then 12:27, Watts called NA again for 2.5 minutes. Because more alerts were going off. Then Ann Meadows group text. Ann Meadows. Then 12:31, Addie texts Watts if Shanann was okay, but she never texted Shanann. God. Then Watts called NA for 40 seconds at 12:41. And they leave out the 12:42. Why? Because it's another alert. So it's the alert of the garage. But they can't put it in there. But Lana finds out. Because I went to Chris's little handy dandy written up crap. 12:40. A few more efforts by Nicole to reach her. But that's what it was written. It was white out. Chris didn't write that. Oh well. 12:42 p.m. Vivint Alert found that this is what it is based on putting other evidence and pieces together. That's how I found. They didn't want to give it to us though. 12:43. Cassie says to Watts, Shan is not in a good place emotionally. Cassie says, I'm worried about her. Chris texts Cassie. She went to a friend's house with the kids. When all these texts are happening, then they leave stuff out again. Between 12:43 and 1:03. Then Cassie texts that Nikki is calling the police at 1:03. Nikki doesn't call the police at 1:03 though. Cassie texts that she is broken emotionally. Cassie texts Watts that her blood sugar dropped due to not eating and could pass out. So she just starts shotgunning all these texts. Cassie texts Watts that unless you want the police knocking down your door, you better get home. Cassie texts again. Ann Meadows texts suggesting the house on 6508 to swing by. Then they leave out a timeline transaction because that was going back into this should have been, let's see. God, guys, it's just been a year since I did all this. Oh, yeah. This is when, okay, this is crazy. This left out here is, and I don't know if it's for sure, but it's a possibility that when NA was driving with Shanann's phone and it gave that feedback back to Amanda Thayer that Ann Meadows was in a three-way, remember? So this left out here could have been an auto reply, but they couldn't let you know about it, and it actually came to Chris's phone too because he was in a three-way. But it fits the timeline, but I don't know for sure, but that's circumstantial. Watts told Cassie, I'll be there in 45 minutes. Cassie thanked him and explained her fears. Watts calls Cassie and has a 1-minute conversation. And 1:07 to 1:13, that's the one that's left out, and that's where I said, see Netflix, and they give it up because they accidentally put something on there, and that's the actual phone time of the staged text, and they put it in the Netflix, and but it was left out, and it was between 1:07 and 1:13, but her phone was already off at that point, but they had to leave it out on purpose, and that's why it doesn't show up until 2:11 when her phone's turned back on when they find it. Woo! How many more appeals can he ask for? He hasn't even appealed anything yet. He has all of his appeals. He didn't do the 35C. He can do the 35C at any point. They just covered up all this shit, and you have to ask yourself why? What does any of this matter? Why would you have to hide any of this? And it goes to the fact of it's not about Like, NA could have came clean, within 2 days, after, or a day, just be like, yeah, I don't know, I didn't want to say that I had broken in, or, I just don't think that you would lie because you showed up there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I think that you were scared, like, that you woke up and nobody was in there. And that's what would frighten you to the point that her phone's there, her car's there, but nobody's there, and something's way wrong. Then you call the school, the kids aren't there. Okay, what the hell's going on? And that's what would lead you to go, 1 to 80 like that, is because of all this. You wouldn't go 1 to 80 because you arrived at 12:20 and your friend didn't answer the door, but you saw her flip-flops. Go down and look at the pool. It just, that doesn't make sense. Enjoyed AD and you tonight, Lana. Thanks. Absolutely, Julie. Thank you for being here. Again, then you're leaving all these out. Why? Then this is the first time right here that NA calls Watts at 1:31. That's the first time she calls him. He was calling her every single time until this, which was to let him know that she had already called the police, or was about to call the police. No, she'd already called them. And then they arrive at 1:36 and all this stuff. They had to keep it out. It had to do with the Vivint. So what I was able to pay attention to is the garage door opened. That'd be left out. So garage door, then the door to go into the house would be 1. But remember, the cop came to the house and they tried to open it so that he could see the latch thing. So you got to count that. And then Chris then opened up the door. And there would be 1 more missing. I think that's how I remember it. He opened up the garage. That'd be a transaction. Then he walked into the garage. From the garage to the house, that's a transaction. Then he opened up the front door. But before he arrived, the cop had him do the latch thing. So that would be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. 2:10, Christina Meacham asked Watts, "What's going on? Where are you? We are so worried. What the fuck?" And then right here, NA's text messages all come in at once on the timeline after the stage text, and that was everything to me. They came in after the stage text, which means it was queued up and it happened after the stage text, which the stage text was technically not at 2 whatever. Chris made that as it was given to us on Netflix because they got it from Jillian Gantley, I believe. And I believe it was 119, 111 or something like that, 119. And then, but they're trying to say that it came in at 2:12 or 2:14 or whatever, 2:12. And it was because that's when her phone was turned on. And so that's when it popped up on Shanann's phone. But from when Chris made the text, it would have came when he actually sent it. That's why it's 119 on his phone and 2:12 on her phone. And I said that in order for his stage text when her phone was off to come in before all of NA's text messages, that led me to believe that NA made her stage texts after she shut off Shanann's phone, but after Chris had done his at 119, which makes sense because she had just got back to the house. She had put the phone back. She left, then they got back out of the house. Then they called 911. And then she, but before they called 911, she did her stage texts. Then she called 911 at like around, I don't know, 1:20 something, like however long the 911 call was, and add like a couple minutes. Whoo, just a lot of work. I said, why would Chris Watts' stage text come in the queue, queued up before any's in Shanann Watts' timeline? And the only way that's possible is if you made the text before she did, before she made all of hers. That's it. And I said, why not just use this timeline stamp mark like you've been doing? Why are you switching, going back? Like, it didn't fit the narrative because they had to protect NA's stage. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Woohoo! Yeah, girl. How could they stage it? Airplane mode? No. What they're considering a stage text, by the way, they only refer to Chris Watts staging anything because Chris Watts knew that she was deceased, and so were the girls. So they're considering anytime he would make a text, they were staged because he knew that they were already dead. And I said, well, why aren't they considering NA's text to be staged? Because she knew that Shanann didn't have her phone. So what they're referring to when they say staged, they're just saying that he's texting her phone knowing that's what a stage message is, according to them. I'm saying, well, NA did the same thing. She just did it for different reasons. She did it to, because why would all of her messages come in like this? Let's go back here. They said that they were staggered. Look at this right here. 2:14, NA's message. Just want to see if you were okay. I know you were hurting. NA's message. Let me know how your appointment goes. The next one. I have been to your house. You won't open the door. Your alarm is set. The officer doesn't give this one, doesn't give this one, doesn't give this one, doesn't give this one. But I counted all these timeline transactions, and guess what? It doesn't add up, because if you see the screenshot of what she sent, it's either one too many or one not enough. I can't remember. My head's blown. But these were, she said, yeah, I've been to your house. You won't open the door. Your alarm is set. I remember all these, like, let's see. Did NA have Shanann Watts' phone when she was texting her that? Yes. Well, when she say what she had it, it wasn't that she had it. It could have been that it was in the house after she replanted it when she got back from the doctor's office. So, because all this comes in order, and if everything else is in order, why would all of her messages that were staggered throughout the day come in like this? Everybody else's was coming in like, look at, there's Cassie's text, there's the Minnesota number, then the alarm on that, like everything's. And how I knew that the phone was on here, 7:40, Chris Watts staged text about taking the kids somewhere. That's what time it is on his phone when it sends it out too. The phone was on. Phone on, phone on, phone on, phone on, phone on. Otherwise, if the phone was off, these would all come in at 2:14, all when her phone would be turned on. But they didn't. They have actually these timestamps on them. Like 1:25, they landed. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. So you mean she sent back to back right away, not spaced apart by a few minutes or so? Yeah. in her interview, I mean, I could play it when she said she texted at, I don't even know, like 6:30 in the morning, and then 8, and then 9, and then 11:30, and then 12:30, like that. Why would Chris set the alarm when he left, knowing they weren't inside and everything was locked up from inside and her purse and everything still inside? That's on your phone. You can do that's an app on your phone. You can do it like that. I think it's more like a out of habit type thing. Who knows? Maybe Chris didn't set the alarm. Maybe NA set up the alarm. Yeah. Lana, what is your opinion on NK? Did she help Chris Watts? Logic says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a live where I play the NK interviews and break it all down with her answers and responses. But I compare it to Amber Frey. Amber Frey did not know that Lacey existed and that Lacey was pregnant, right? Whereas NK knew that Chris had his wife, had his kids, so how it would ever enter your mind to think I have to get rid of them to be with this woman. There's no indication of that needing to happen to be with NK because she knew about the kids. They only knew each other for X amount of time. Like hardly any time at all. Like at all. Purple butterfly, you're welcome. When they asked her to come in, so you think NA is involved? No, I don't. I don't think NA is involved. I think though when she woke up there because she was sleeping there because of everything that just had transpired, and she was going to help Shanann with the kids in the morning or do whatever, or she went there super early because that was the plan. And then she, gets there and then she's in there and then they realize that, well, they didn't know. They didn't know if Shanann did something to her and the girls. They didn't know what was going on. And all it looked like was, shit, well, I was in there and I did this and I found this and then we called this and we're doing this. Why was it all a big secret? And the only reason it would be a big secret that you had to tell Primrose that don't tell anybody we called here, and it would be with the cops. You need the cops to get on this right away. You can't tell the cops when you call them, oh, hey, I was supposed to meet at my friend's house because we were totally gonna pack her shit up and leave with the kids because her husband's a cheating bastard. But when I got here, she's not here, but all of her stuff is here. But she was planning on leaving. We were planning on leaving. The cops didn't say, well, did she leave without you? I mean, if she's planning on leaving, maybe she just went without you. So then everything changes when you explain it that way to the police. It's not gonna. And I think that when NA tried to call initially at 9, she called, was about to do whatever, and then hung up. And it was like, no. Like she said, like, never mind, or whatever may have transpired. But NA, I believe, called at 9 o'clock because Party Patty says she called. Why would Party Patty say that this woman called at 9 o'clock in the morning if she didn't. Oh, I must have had my times messed up. Patty, you're winning like Employee of the Year and you worked there for 30 years. I don't think you're messing that up. I did recon on fucking Patty. I think Patty's a rock star. That's why I call her Party Patty. I was so close to driving to Frederick to meet Party Patty. But I thought it was borderline inappropriate, stalkerish, so I didn't do it. What about NK's calls and incoming calls from the 910, no, the night of the 13th? What about, like, what do you mean? The 910, that's Chris. Chris Watts had Asperger's. What? Yes, there was border, like that he was on the spectrum. So much going on. So glad all the call log and the 360 is so important. Yeah, the 360 app data, 100%, without a doubt, is not Nicole Atkinson's data. 100% not her data. So whose data is it? And why is she serving up this data that's whoever's, which I believe is her son's, to law enforcement to say, here's my data? Because she couldn't cough up hers. Well, what was on her data? And this is what people went crazy with when I announced this on J for Justice and said, guys, here's your cell phone in your hand. If you make a phone call right here, but how do you make a phone call right here with your phone if your phone supposedly is driving on I-90? Because your phone is your app data. That's wherever it's at. So, and the Vivint alert went off at 12:10. According to the data, Nicole Atkinson's 10 minutes away at 12:10. 10 minutes away. Coming from supposedly Longmont. It's impossible. It is 100% impossible. So again, this is where the dishonesty, this is where obstruction of justice comes in. And do I think that NA had anything to do with any of the crimes committed on Shanann and the children? No. But on 8/20, when she was interviewed with her son, or her son was interviewed, she said, oh, I have the Life 360 app. I can give you the data. And she was coughing that up, talking about that the day of the actual disappearance. That was, well, according to the world, we thought it was just, missing children, but a missing adult. So this happens on, 8/12/8/13. All these days go by and your son is being in an interview room. You're in there, and then you attach your Life 360 app data to his interview on 8/20. So all these days later, you're standing by that this is your data, and it's impossible. 100% not possible. You're at the house, your phone isn't, but you're on your phone. And when I found that out, I sat down one day and I was like, wait a second, what the fuck? Wait, if she's at the house, her phone is with her. Well, what? I was like, oh my God, this isn't her data. It's her fucking son's data. So where's her data? And why lie about it? Why lie? Because you were afraid, because you did not know what happened, because of the things that I believe that Shanann was saying, and they're in these text messages. And it was just weird. It was like just weird setting up shit. It's weird. NA sure throws in some confusion, no involvement in the crimes, but timing is off. I'm saying no involvement in the crimes because there's no evidence that she was involved with the crimes. But what I can prove is that she was obstructing justice by not being honest. That's actually a crime. And the investigators at some point knew that she wasn't honest, because this report that was taken on 8/20, it was not typed up and made official and put in discovery until 10/7. Why would you wait and hold on to this for that long? Oh, wait, because you did it after Chris agreed and wanted to take a plea deal. And you're also holding it back so that it's I mean, okay, we can put it in now because it's not going to matter because he's taking this deal. Bunch of fuck up shit. That's what happened. Remember NA asked if she was going to be arrested? Yeah, she did. It was actually during when Bumhauer went and met her at work. And what she meant by being arrested, it had nothing to do, in my opinion, about the crimes. It had to do with that she was not honest with the police. Thank you all for being kind in chat, love. We're gonna go to Patreon and talk more about this. It's only $9.99. Heather Blair, she'll be there. Maybe that's why the family didn't want the whole truth out there, so Chris wouldn't have anything to try to dispute. They just had a big pickle on their hands. It's very, when you would go to trial and you're going to say, okay, who was in the house that night? Who was in the house that morning? Why did this person then, they called and cover it up? Why? Because Shanann was capable. They thought it. They did this. They told Promos not to call it. They were doing, they weren't sure who did what because of Shanann's state of mind. That was what they were in fear of, is that we're fucked if we go to trial because this is not okay. Because of everything, because of what is going to happen at trial. And because they couldn't prove who killed the girls. So Chris's original thing that he said in, you know, when he confessed, that statement and everything that he said, that stood a chance. Not sure if it's true, not sure, but I'm saying that because of everything that took place, you're putting another person in the house. And then that person covered up just like how Chris covered up things. Chris staged text, she staged text. It's no bueno, no good. Breaking and entering, I would say that wouldn't be it because she had the passcode. And she would just say that, well, Shanann told me to come over in the morning to help her out with the kids. So I always just, I have the code and I go in. You have to remember that NA just house sat for the week prior to when they were all in North Carolina together. But Chris Watts said that he told his lawyers from jump that he did it. That's not true. He said it in the note. What he said was, he said he then told his lawyers the same story that he told in Wisconsin to his lawyers then it wasn't right away. And I told that to Jane and David, and they said, well, then one of those is a false confession, which means now you have no idea what to believe. So both of those get thrown out so was Chris being honest here? But once his lawyers would have had two different stories, one of them is a false confession. Which one is it? And then at that point, your lawyers would just look at everything. Like it was ineffective counsel across the board. Did you have your client psych eval? I mean, what the hell? Why are you letting him be talked to by the DA to be, that's just Lawyers don't let the opposing counsel talk to their clients like that. It's just not even heard of. No, he wouldn't. Chris would have known NA was inside, though. Alarm was set and Ring cameras. Yes, that was the issue, though, is that if you look at, he calls her, you know, how I see it going down is it's very dark in that basement. She was sleeping. Obviously, she woke up. She goes upstairs. I'm not saying if she slept there, she goes upstairs. She's, calling for Shanann, Bella, Cece. No one's there. She goes all the way upstairs. She would then see the bed being stripped down. She sees Shanann's phone is on the nightstand. And probably looks in the bathroom to see, she's showering. Where is everybody? Then you would go, look and see if the car's in the garage. I mean, you could be thinking, well, maybe Shanann just took the kids to daycare, but she didn't take her phone with her. Maybe she forgot it here, Then she waits around for a little bit. Nothing. And then she goes out to the garage to look and sees that the vehicle was there. Or she comes there that morning at some point, or before Shanann's mom called Primrose. So either you put her, and what I said when I did all this is I said, do you think Chris Watts killed the children? I would never sign anything that said that I killed my kids if I didn't kill my kids. So if Chris Watts took that deal, and then I had him in position to go get a 35C and probably be successful, then you had everything going for you, but you're going to tell me that because Kimberly Griffith was being harassed, that you're not going to go forward with something like that? Or because, no, that's just not logical. If you didn't kill your kids, you'd go and you'd try to prove that you didn't kill your kids. So that's what I have to say about that. There's no evidence that shows who killed who. That's the sad thing, is that they should have kept doing their work to be able to prove that. And maybe that's why the only thing that I can think of is that they went back to Wisconsin to get the confession about the girls. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. And that they did that for the family. But there's no other reason that you would go to Wisconsin to talk to Chris. I think they wanted him saying that he killed the children. And he gave them that. He doesn't fit the family annihilator. I agree. I don't put any stock into anything that Chris says, though. I believe he started lying. I believe that Thrive makes you lie. That type of stuff makes you lie. You lie about how great your life is. Your life is not great. Oh, we're going on these vacations and look at this. It's just, you're living a lie. You're lying to your wife. She's lying to you. Everything was a lie. But Chris, I guess, never used to be that way. Well, Chris became that way at some point. Because he and Shanann were both not being honest. Everyone says that Shanann has a temper. So do I believe that Shanann came home and lit his ass up? Absolutely. I believe that she came home with her Italian temper, like her mom has said, as I would do, and I'd be like, you son of a bitch. Get up. I know everything that you've been doing, and I'm gonna have you admit it, and blah blah. Like, do I believe the version that Chris has given, like what happened that night? Nope. I don't believe anything that Chris has said. The digital evidence shows, opposite. But he wouldn't know that she was in the house because they didn't have cameras in the house. So, no, he wouldn't know that. What he would know is any of the alerts that were going off. And there's only one camera that would be, and that's on the front door. So if Nicole was going in and out the basement window when she was there and walking around or doing whatever, like there'd be no alerts for that. I remember Nicole Atkinson is a smoker. So if she's there, in the morning and there for multiple hours, I'm sure she's lighting up some cigarettes. Like, I would have been looking for some cigarette butts, but these fucking people don't know shit. So, but they also didn't know to be looking for this right now because they didn't have all this. New Orleans lady, look at you. Welcome. New member. Woohoo. That's what Chris says. When you add up all the years and all the time, unless Chris didn't move the bodies, Chris would need that to be gone, because the removal of the bodies, the way that it is consecutive versus concurrent, I mean, you'd have to, and I talked to a couple other people when I was out in Denver, the unlawful termination of a pregnancy, that's not going to stand. They said that's going to go. But when they just threw the book at him and he just signed everything, but that would not hold up. Everybody said that across the board. Then you're looking at, okay, well, what did Chris do? Did he act with somebody? Did he act alone? Did he not act at all? But if, did Chris move the bodies? And each body is a sentence, and you'd have to be able, like, that'd be the big thing for Chris, is to get it to be that he didn't remove the bodies, somebody else did. He'd wipe those out, if he had help or whatever, and then crime of passion with Shanann, if he's claiming that the children were murdered by her. But when you break it down, that's how you would break it down to see what you'd be looking at and what you're trying to prove. But otherwise, he's got 12, 12, 12. It'd be 36 years just alone on the bodies, the removal of the bodies. What up, girl? What up, girl? What's your opinion on that? I think that she was able to say that quickly because she knew of everything quickly that morning. She knew that the girls weren't at daycare. She knew that Chris went to work. So Shanann's missing. The girls are missing. They didn't go to daycare. All the stuff that had went down, and where did he go? I just think that people that think this was a premeditated crime, this is the stupidest premeditated crime I've ever seen in my life. I just think that everything went horribly wrong that night when she got home. I don't think anybody was supposed to die that night. And I think that everything, it just horribly wrong. And then at that point, it was panic. You don't know what to do. However it played out. Whatever went down that evening, or I should say early morning, whatever, in my opinion, when you look at it all, you had mm. See right here at 11:09, Shanann sends Chris a text, "How can you sleep? Our marriage is crumbling in front of us." And that's when she takes that weird picture of him, and he's like got his glasses all like this, and then but you look at his cell phone records, he was talking to Nicole Kessinger like at 12 that night, which was 10 Colorado time, 12 their time, and that doesn't make sense to me. So she must have woke him up, they got in a fight, and then he walked outside, and then he was on the phone with her. Why didn't you just tell me you were done? Why get me pregnant? This has been the worst week of my life. All this stuff, like I don't know how you fell out of love in 5.5 weeks. About missing him, kissing him, smells, etc. 11 p.m. 10:34. I just don't get it. You don't fall out of. So like he's like just sleeping, and she's just shotgunning these texts to him. I just don't get it. You don't fall out of love in 5 weeks. How can you sleep? Our marriage is crumbling in front of us. Why would you be texting this? You see that someone's sleeping right there, and you're just standing there with your phone and just texting this? That to me doesn't make any sense. So is it like, was she doing that on purpose? None of that's logical. Sorry, but it's not. You would be like, that's the type of stuff that you would be saying to somebody face to face, or you'd be saying that to them and they're saying stuff back to you. But if you know that person is sleeping, that's not what you would do. I just don't. Shanann at 3:28 texts that she is serious. Christopher, we are not taking any chances of running into your family. We're not seeing your parents. That's what she's saying. 3:28. Then Chris texts that about his mama. And Shanann sends Chris a screenshot of quotes. This is the last day when they left. Or the Thursday, on Monday. Is it Monday? Sunday. Shanann, I assume you are safe. It has been 3 hours. Sorry, you are tired. Haven't talked to you in 48 hours. Chris texting, sorry, she had a bad weekend. What? Oh, sorry to her that she had a bad weekend. Chris says, just finished the hike. That's when he's talking about his car. He had like something happen with his car, but he was driving back with NK. And then she's saying, sorry, haven't talked to you in 48 hours. And that's just over exaggerating. That's not the truth. Everything changed with, I feel like she knew it was up. I will fight for full custody. Does not want a divorce right away. I can't afford 3 kids alone in Colorado. Current home loan is on Chris Watts. Friends rally around her. She's Googling emotion focused therapy, couples therapy. Watts refuses to touch me at 2:54 a.m. I canceled that review. I need good news. Right here, between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., Addie asks if she has gone through Chris's phone. She says no. I thought that calculator login was really strange. The only time he ever logged into the calculator app is when he moved a picture. So, all right. I'm going to wrap this up unless you guys got some final questions. There's so many strange things, love. Shanann was clever. Why didn't she let him take the girls to see his parents? I don't know. It's a good question. Let's see. Comedian Mama, perfect. Whatever you guys think is best, I will whip up a great thumbnail and put her up. What? You and MM actually agree on a lot. Have you paneled up with her yet? Could anyone have been parked out back and went out the back? When I was there, what do you say? Anybody like who? Gina B, you're welcome. Hormones, yes, definitely hormones. I've been emailing her. Oh, yes. I didn't realize I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together because I was going by your first name. I almost added your first name too, so instead of all this marriage counts, etc. Okay, so all of this stuff is just way too late. Like this is all, it's already, I mean, I just hate to say it, but it's all this stuff. This is what, like, he's already gone. That's the thing, and she knew it. He was telling her he was sleeping in the basement. I have thought too, Lana, that because it was 50-50 child custody payments and access. Yeah. There was no saving this marriage. Yeah, it was too late. But I think Chris felt bad about that. Like I don't think he was, guys, he wasn't trying to hurt Shanann, because if he was trying to hurt Shanann, why not just tell her? Like he couldn't tell her. Like he was sad about that. Otherwise you would just tell her. What are you getting at? Like, what's his angle? Was he working to save up money? No, like there was no, he just didn't want to hurt her. So he couldn't tell her. I believe that. That is the one thing that I do believe. People could say, oh, maybe he didn't know what he wanted yet. No, he cared about her feelings. He wasn't trying to hurt her. He loved her. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you are in love with them. Chris could be himself. I believe that when he said that about NK, only because of the stuff that they were doing. Him and, Shanann weren't going out to the sand dunes or doing this or doing that. Shanann wasn't like, oh, hey, what do you like to go do? Like, it was, they weren't getting babysitters and going and doing stuff. They did thrive. And every day was just like a routine. And I just think that he saw that he wasn't happy. But he was torn because he was happy because of his girls.
That's why I had a hard problem with the, I don't get the whole angle that you think you're going to kill your kids. Um, this man who was their primary care, taker was going to kill, his baby girls. And then the one thing when Tammy went after him and said that he's a monster and that I am not a monster and I did not kill my kids. Like he like barked back at her a little bit. And that was the only like that's why when he said that, you know, he was adamant in my opinion when he said that. It was like, no, you're not saying that. No. Um and Lana, why did he take out higher life insurance on the girls? You'd have to ask. I don't believe that Chris wasn't in charge of anything like that. So think about this: when you and your spouse, and it's enrollment time comes around each year, and you're doing your benefits and whatever you're doing, and you know, who do you think's calling? Who do you think's calling the shots like that? You think that was Chris? Because I don't think so. I don't think that Chris was calling the shots with anything like that. Um, you don't have to hate either one to keep looking into this. It's interesting and worth discussion. Oh, okay. So Shanann would have been part of that. I would think that when it came to stuff like that, I mean, Shanann was in charge of their finances. Shanann, I just think that she called the shots with stuff like that. That was her office. Nothing in that office was his. May have just been for burial costs. Or would she have done that herself, do you think? I don't think Chris paid attention to a lot of things. I don't. But I also don't think that Chris does things for money. He's, if it wasn't for Shanann, he wouldn't have a Facebook account. He wouldn't be, on Amazon buying, a bunch of crap and having it sent to the house every other day like my friends do. I laugh. It's like it's Christmas every day over here. Something from Amazon Prime's being dropped off. Those are my friends. I'm like, what are you ordering? Oh, this banana peeler. Like, what? Just peel your banana, girl. Well, ask Kim Kaufman about that because Kim Kaufman's all about life insurance, and she thinks that I know that she's on like she was basically self-employed. He's the only one with stability, and I mean, I took out a big life insurance policy on me back just because if I made sure it was enough to like cover like the house, like here our house would be paid for and some extra, but I don't know, you just think about what Jackson, it was minimal. I don't know, like 10 or 25,000 or something like that. Chris Watts didn't know nothing about anything financial or why they were behind on everything. Well, because she was telling him that everything was fine, that they've never been better financially, supposedly. That's according to KK. Chris was like, no, the kids aren't going to Primrose anymore. We can't afford that. And that's why I believe that they went to North Carolina. It was, see, I could talk about Primrose all day. The way that works, my son went to Goddard. It's the same thing. It's its main competitor. You can't just pull your kid out of that type of school. You lose your spot. There's a waiting list. That's boom, kids take it, and there's no like, oh, we're just not going to be there for the 6 weeks in the summer and we're going to come back. The only way that you're doing that is if there's a spot. They're not going to save you a spot. That's not how those places work. Way too much money you're losing out on. They're losing out on, think about it, $2,500 for the 4 weeks, for a month, for the two kids. So yeah, like, that's not how that works. She went to North Carolina because it would have just been her at home with the two kids. How is she going to be able to work? So, hey, but if I go home, I don't have to tell any of my friends how we couldn't afford it and had to take the kids out of Primrose because it doesn't look good. So we're going to I'll take them. I can work on my business anywhere. Like me, I can work from wherever. So then we'll have a schedule where the grandparents, split up their days, and, I'm working on my business. It doesn't cost any money. You got your family that's basically going to be feeding you. So there's no food. They do stuff, and you're going to save a bunch of money. And in 6 weeks, you're going to bust your butt and build up your clientele. So, that was the plan. And I think Shanann was, honestly, I think that she was being a little too, close with Chris Miller. And I have proof of that because of Cindy Dorsett's interview, where she thinks that Chris Miller is Shanann's husband when they were in New Orleans. So I'm not just coming up with that out of the blue. But then something happened between her and Chris Miller around July 4th. They had some type of falling out. And then at that moment, I think it was July 4th, yeah. 9th, 4th, something like that. I don't have that stuff in front of me. Then all of a sudden she starts paying attention and being way more needy with Chris Watts. And she's literally stalking that app. And what I mean by that, she was able to catch him basically. I don't want to say like she caught him cheating, but she noticed that the app wasn't working the right way. But it really was. How do I want to say this? Okay. She was able to figure out, because she was watching the app all the time, she knew when the doors were opening, which door was opening first, which door was opening second. So if I'm at home and I'm supposed to wake up in the morning, take Dieter out, pack my lunch, bring Dieter back in, and then I would open up the garage door, go get in my truck and leave type of thing, right? And then I'd come back home, the garage door would be opening on the outside first, and that would be the sequence. Well, what Shanann was able to find out is that she's like, wait, the garage door isn't like, I'm not getting alerted that the garage door, because guess what Chris did? He would sleep over NK's at night. And then when he woke up in the morning, he would come home and the idiot was opening up the garage door before he was opening up the inside of the house. And she's like, well, how did you open up the garage door? You'd have to walk out the main house garage door before you would then hit the button to open up the garage. Get what I'm saying? So then that's why he started sneaking out, and he had to make sure that he was doing everything in reverse order so that she couldn't tell. And he lied and acted like, oh, something's wrong with the, I'll call Vivint. But there was nothing ever wrong. And I had to explain that to KK. And I was like, well, you guys can give up that lie because that's a lie. That's not what was happening. What was happening is that Shanann noticed that it was out of sequence. And he said there was something wrong with the garage, like, you know, that shit. And I said, well, then why didn't he call Vivint? And that's when I knew that Shanann was checking. I'm telling you, she was checking the phones. Because then she calls Chris or texts him and says, you know, have you called them? You better, before I call them and give them a piece of my mind. She knew that he didn't call. Why didn't he just text her and say, yeah, I already called? Why call and stage a whole fucking phone call? Because she's watching the phone records. She's, Chris, I just checked the records and you haven't called yet. I swear, if I have to make that phone call, I'm gonna be pissed. That type of stuff. Yes, she was. You didn't know about Chris Miller? Oh my God, maybe I need to do an episode on Chris Miller. Chris Miller's a big deal on this. Everything was just whack. It was just a bunch of lies, man. Unhappy people. Thrive ended up. I blame Thrive. I'm not even kidding. Selling pipe dreams. Bunch of crap. Yes, do a show on Chris Miller. Yes, the Doors, would drive me mad. I think CM told her no. That's possible. The other thing I was able to prove with that, because the cheating was really important, or like, because I said, wait, they have Dieter. He can't be staying at NK's. What's he doing with his dog? You know what I mean? And then there was rumor that he took the dog to NK's. I don't believe that. You know, no, I don't believe that. So, but she's watching the Vivint, so you have to come home. And that's the thing, is that if he didn't come home, it's like, well, how did you leave the house to go to work that day? Oh, I don't know. What do you mean? I left. Well, none of the alarms went off, Chris. None of the alerts happened. Like, what'd you do? You know, like, that's what started happening. And I'm telling you, that is what led me to believe, because she was asking about all this stuff. She knew something was up. And then he started getting smart, and he would take the Lexus and pull it out of the garage, park it on the street, okay? Because he couldn't, you know, he's not allowed to take his work truck, but how is he supposed to go out in the evenings? He has to pull that car out, have it already out, close the garage door, act like he's in for the night. Then he has to sneak out the basement because there's no alarms on the basement windows. And then he's gonna, he has to come back in that way, so that everything that he does then is like he was in the house all along. And guess who said in his statement, oh, well, when Shanann was out of town, Chris had that Lexus parked in the street. Nosy Nate. And I saw him walking around. Well, yeah, that's exactly what he was doing. So that's why I said, okay, if Chris knows how to do this so that he doesn't get, alerted on this surveillance system that they have, you guys think that he planned a triple homicide and an unborn child and did this? Give me a break. No way. If he knew, like, this is the stupidest idea ever. But if you think he's some mastermind annihilator, and it doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up. You would never back your truck up and do that. Dieter got adopted, I think. They should have interviewed him. Yes, do a CM breakdown. I've not heard much about him. I can. I don't believe he took the dog to NK's either. Would have been nice if he had. No, he didn't. It's an elite school. Good for your kid, Atlanta. Yeah, well now that was when he was younger. He's loving his little school now. We have a good public school system over here. You should always live in areas with good school systems. That's when you know you usually have good community then. Where is the Phoenix airport video? There has to be footage of both. Yikes, I never caught that about Cindy Dorsett saying that. That is big. Can't believe I never noticed or heard that. Yep, I could talk to you about that too. That's a big thing. Because she's referring to the New Orleans trip. And what happened on that New Orleans trip? Oh, that's where she got her awards. That's where she's wearing the leopard. And that's where Dorsett's like, they asked her, oh, when's the last time you saw Chris and Shanann? Oh, in New Orleans. Well, Chris didn't go on that trip, sugar, but thanks. Because these people want to say that they're so close to all these people. Like, you saw them, a couple times a year? You don't know anything about Shanann's life, Chris's life. Shit, you thought Chris, when you met him or you hung out with him last in New Orleans. No, that's Chris Miller. That's not her man. Oh, Watson, have a good night, love. Betty saw NK's truck parked away, and there's a pic, maybe? Yeah, what was really interesting is that what she was doing is, when you're on Facebook and you have the option to make a post and have it be friends only, or make a post and have it be public or set to a certain crowd. She was posting real estate, but what she was doing when she was posting these pictures and stuff, or these links, is she was making it seem like she was moving back there or interested in or in this property in some capacity. But she changed the target audience when she posted the stuff. And that to me was weird. But then again, I think it's just like a keeping up with the Joneses things. Like, Shanann made it seem like they had, all this money, and they just didn't. No, he had already gotten his real estate license. He was definitely not in the military at that time. Sorry for my random comments, guys. The case gets me thinking a million different things. My mind just goes a million miles per hour. I have to go now. Have a great night, day. Yep. Oh, definitely, maybe just blurt it out. Who cares? Mama 3. Love you. Canadian mama. Love you. A perfect storm, I'm starting to think. It was, everything points to why did the police, it wasn't so much the FBI, it wasn't the CBI, but it was actually the police, the Greeley Police Department, Mike D. Prill, why did they mess with with the discovery? If it was so, open and closed and shut, like, why are you messing with stuff? Here it is. Why do you need to not have timeline transactions, or why isn't it all in there? Oh, I didn't think it was relevant. No, no, no. You started changing things. You started saying like that this phone was actually what did that, and this, no, mm-mm. Very strategic what they did with that discovery. I'm telling you guys. Um, and I wish they could just come out and say what I think it was, and it's just somebody else was in there, but she didn't do anything because the truth ended up coming out. You know what I mean? But uh, that's just sketch. You have to be successful. Pretend to be with Thrive. Yeah. Yeah, completely. Carry on. Good night. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming over here. I'm going to wrap this up too. So, because Anadarko, follow the money. The investors are more important than the truth. Uh, oh, I did not know that. That's juicy. What's juicy? Night, Lana. I'll be waiting for the CM breakdown. You got it, Cherry Bomb. Shanann must have been in now. How can you sleep at night knowing you're in so much debt? Yeah, well, something was up with the money. That was the other thing. Is they weren't paying the daycare money anymore. They're about to be 3 months behind if they don't pay August. If you're not paying out this money, as I did a whole breakdown of their finances, that means you're hiding. That means you're taking this money and you're hiding it, or you're using it on things that you're not supposed to. I just don't see them spending any crazy type of money during that time frame because they were in North Carolina and they didn't need to because their families are, basically supporting them. It didn't seem like Shanann was doing all that much. So, but we all know we can make our mortgage payments from anywhere. You don't have to be at home. You go online from anywhere and send off that payment or whatever. I mean, they didn't pay the HOA for God knows how long, and they'll put a lien on your house like that. Two words, Dick Cheney. Check it out. My $50 question. Yeah, that's it. Robbing Peter to pay Paul is exactly what was happening. It was constant. And I mean, remember, people are patterns of behavior. Like, I feel like Shanann was street smart. Okay, she knew how to get what she needed and wanted. So if you really look at that discovery and you look at the breakdown of the text messages and do you think that she knew what Chris was up to and really when she knew it? I think would be really telling if you actually had Shanann's Google history and what she was searching, which has never surfaced to this day. Why? Why? But if y'all would have just let me get the 35C, you'd have your freaking answers. I'm just crazy. Do you think that maybe Shan said to him that morning, F you can't leave because you are totally broke, and he lost it? No, I think it had to do with I think that that had more to do with the cheating. I mean, screw the money. That's embarrassing to her. Who does he think he is to cheat on me? That type of thing. And maybe heartbroken. I mean, maybe she said she was falling more in love. And remember, guys, Chris lost a bunch of weight. He was the best he's ever looked. The old saying is, you don't know what you got until you don't got it anymore. So I just think he was saying that it was over, but he had been saying it. He kept, he was telling her this, and she just wasn't getting it. She's like, no, we can go to counseling. Here, I'll sign us up for this. Or here, read this book, and let's just be, He was telling her she was not getting it. And I think that she got a full dose in Arizona of a bunch of women doing what, if all of us were all hanging out together and we're on a trip and we're all, true crime people. If you guys were all my friends and we're hanging out at a dinner place, and then we're back at the hotel room and I'm all like upset and I'm usually all bubbly and, oh, he's just acting weird. What do you mean? Like, I don't know. Like, and we're starting to talk. Well, here, let's look. Like, what do you mean? Then he spent this money. He spent $60. We don't have $60. Why would he spend that on dinner? Like, what did you buy? Well, maybe he took somebody. He never goes out when I'm out of town. He never gets a babysitter and just goes out. Like, that's not like him. And you know what I'm saying? And like, okay, well, hey, remember Cassie said she didn't have the heart to tell her, but she knew Chris was cheating? Well, what a friend you are, Cassie. I'm telling you, the day that my friend doesn't tell me that my significant other is cheating when she thinks it. But I get it. Shanann was very manipulative as well. Yeah. Okay, so he is telling her, so it's Shan who lost it because he hasn't got a reason to go mad. Opposite, he is looking forward to the future. Yeah, that's when I was in this investigation, I was like, he's happy. He's got this new girl. He's doing his fun things. He wants to take his kids to do the fun things too. He's gonna get get this place or whatever, and he just didn't need to annihilate his family. He didn't need to get rid of them to have Nicole Kessinger. People that think that it's not there. That's actually going against everything that the evidence says. So, but on the opposite hand, we have evidence that's showing I can't live in Colorado alone with 3 kids. Like, she's already freaking out before she goes to Arizona about that. He wants to get divorced, not then, but she knows all of this. She was that person that she was always acting like everything was great in her life, and now all of a sudden she's going to confide in people that she thinks that she's better than. I'm sorry, but Nicole NA was Sandy's friend. But Cassie, I believe that Cassie and Shanann were the closest, Addie. But yeah, it's just she's coming home from a trip, then the plane gets delayed. Like, any plans that you would have had this was a strategic premeditated. I mean, it just blows it all up, I think, too. It's definitely not money. Chris Watts, his motive was money. His motive is he's like his dad. When I got to meet Ronnie, I was like, okay, you are who you are is that's who your son was. He's soft spoken. He doesn't say something unless he really has something to say. He's not like this. He doesn't need to be the center of attention. Nothing like that. He's a very simple person, and that's who Chris. Ronnie was like Chris, and that's what his sister told me, and I could see it. I was around Ronnie, and there was no way in hell. I'm sorry, but I could never imagine Ronnie losing his. I mean, he's the most laid back person. Like, doesn't raise his voice. And people like, it doesn't mean he doesn't care about things. It doesn't mean that nothing bothers him. But I could never see Ronnie doing anything physical to anybody. I couldn't see Ronnie stomping on an ant or a spider. Sorry. Cassie valued her life. She wasn't going to bring no bad news to Shanann. I think Cassie, though, was more of a realist, though. I think it was the girls' murders that gets me. Men kill their wives all the time. Sorry, but true. Crimes of passion, etc. But the girls. Those children didn't need to die. You know what I mean? I've always looked at the angle, what's the one thing that Chris loved more than anything in the world? People would say is girls, Remember Shanann writes, all you talk about is the kids, the girls, all you care about the girls. So I looked at the angle that, well, I'm going to take away the one thing that, that you love most. It's just, it's sad. It's so sad. I think what's super sad is that all this, they just had a lot on social media. So when you watch all that stuff, you just, that's why I think people got really emotional about it, because people felt like they knew these people because so much stuff was on social media with, videos and, but I think that's where the emotion comes in. Yeah, that's, I calm down, girl. What was the dark things with NK though? Taking them to the grave. Oh, that was NA's taking, right? Taking them to the grave. Why do you think they issued a search warrant for Christina Meacham's Facebook? I'm not sure. Chris Watts would have been happy to work, pay Shanann money for the kids, etc. Yeah, I do. I don't. Chris is not like a I'm out to screw you type thing. He just Mm-mm. Yeah, I heard she was a really good salesperson. Wasn't her email address used to make his Facebook? Oh wait, remember we were talking about when? Okay, have you? I need to do a live where I read the interview when he's talking to Graham about all that stuff. Remember that stuff, Mama 3? I think it's like Shanann Thrives. Graham asks Chris. No, it wasn't Graham. Was it Graham? Yeah, it was Graham. He's like, okay, so let me get this straight. So your wife, she's like a sales rep? Like, he's like trying to understand what she does for a living. Yeah, she works from home. So she's like cloud based? Yeah, she works from home. Okay, so who does she have employee? Oh no, she just on Facebook. Wait, he's like trying to explain what Shanann does, and Graham's like, okay, so she just like writes strangers and asks them if they want rides. He's like, what? What kind of sales? What are you talking about? She just uses Facebook. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram, but mainly Facebook. Okay, so what's her account? I don't really know. It's probably like Shanann Thrives. What's the name of her page? Shanann Thrives. I don't know, like Shanann_Thrives. God. Okay, this is where I'm getting snap happy. I need to go to bed. And so she just messages strangers and asks them, okay, do you have like a list of her, coworkers? Oh yeah, they already contacted them. Okay, what about like any of her customers? Yeah, they already have all that. Oh god, it was so weird. It was so awkward. Shanann Thrives, It was from Red X normal Facebook group into a more private Facebook group that only had people that could find that email. Addie of Christina's? What? Wait, you had to get into yes, I had to look for it when I wanted to get into this group on Facebook. What? What are people's thoughts on the nut issue with Mama Watts and the fact that she deliberately tried to make the girls sick, etc.? I'm just wondering what people think on this respectively. I think that those two pushed each other's buttons, period. And everything is dramatics, and I've, worked with Cindy, talked with Cindy. You got Shanann and Cindy that I think are two very similar people. At the time of when everybody was obviously alive. I think Cindy is a completely changed person just because she, went through whatever. But I think you got triangulation going on. Mama 3, I'm still waiting for that one French fam annihilator to be caught. I can't remember his name right now, but I Google it every once in a while to check on his updates. Thrive has made so much more money just from this case alone. Those vitamins are expensive. Thrive's really expensive. The black label is $75 a month. I was double patching just to see like how it made me feel. I mean, it ain't nothing like, might as well just take Adderall. I don't think it's like, I was just trying to see if you'd be like crazy on it. No. Oh. I was double patching. In Florida, I put 4 patches on. I had one on my hand, on my like outer my hand, on both hands. I had my shoulders, and then down by like the side of my like, on my side of my like stomach. I was patching it up. Well, because I didn't realize that my friend she sold the stuff. So when I got to Florida, I was looking for a glass to grab water, and I just saw all this Thrive, and I'm like, what is this? She's like, oh my God, you didn't know that I used to like, I mean, I kind of still sell it, but like I'm nowhere near. I'm like, but you have mounds of product. She's like, yeah, girl, take whatever you want. I was like, well, I want to do just some recording with this so I can do it in my trailer. And she's like, have you ever used it? I mean, it kind of works if you like do it. And I'm like, but what I notice is that it messes you up when you stop taking your body gets all whacked out of like, it's not, I think it messes with your body normal production of knocking, breaking stuff down. That's, I don't know. But yeah, I was just like, all right, girl, I'm going to try some of these patches. She's like, girl, you got to do the 3 steps. I was like, no, I just want some of these patches. I was just putting patches up everywhere. Lana, you have boundless energy. If I double patch, I'd probably have a heart attack. I didn't think it was, is it really that? I can't remember now. I just remember I put on all these patches and just started chugging Red Bull just to see how I would feel. You get withdrawals. Why did you do? I don't remember. Definitely didn't get a damn thing done. So it's like drugs, Thrive. Wait, hold on. I think my sister tried to sell Thrive. How the fuck did you do that? Because one, make me so panicky jittery, I curled up on my couch freaking out. Oh my God, really? Oh my God, no. I don't know. Did I have energy? I'm sure I had extra energy, but no, it's not like drugs. That's why I said I was just like, you definitely didn't get a damn thing done. It's supposed to help you with it though. Holy girl, how the fuck are you still alive? Wait, putting 4 patches on? Thrive actually made their prices go up recently, so it's even more expensive. Oh my God. That's when you just do cardio 45 minutes to an hour a day and you're fine. Is it like Adderall? No, Adderall blows it out of the water. Definitely take Adderall over Thrive. Just because something's natural doesn't mean it's safe. Yeah. I thought it messed with you when you didn't take it, in terms of just like that I feel like people, when they stop taking their patches, you just blow up on the spot, meaning everything that you would have lost, you gain it all right back super fast. I think that's what I remember from people doing that. Gee, how did you not die? What, because of those patches? Because of the Black Label? And then I bought some White Label. Red Bull and Thrive. Each Black Label's like a question. It does make you withdraw, and you lose weight because you forget to eat because you have so much energy doing other shit. Yeah, I remember it took my appetite away, I think. But then you like get it, like you have to be in a really good sleep pattern, I remember. Maybe that was it. It's hard to sleep on it. But I'm like, wait a second, you wear your patch 24/7 because when you wake up in the morning, you rip it off and you put another one on. And I'm like, how am I supposed to sleep with this? It's really weird. I was too busy freaking out on my couch about how Jimmy was feeling. Adderall or whatever you call it, it's drugs. I have never heard of Thrive prior to this case and still haven't seen advertising for it. Maybe certain areas of the country. Yeah, probably. Thrive is not natural. I used to be a here we go. In a makeup brand, and it was so freaking nasty towards customers, and this is not how I work as a agent. That's why I left and told me. There you go. I'm a limitless behind. What? Maybe Sandwich was creating a paper. Yeah, that's how it looked. It was really interesting with these texts. Oh, I didn't realize those were still up there. Thrive has a sleep gel. My daughter took it for a year more. Well, Thrive started having all this stuff. My cousin was selling something else, Innovate. And when she found out that I was taking Thrive because I was just doing it for this case, she's like, "Oh my God, you're not buying through me and you're buying Thrive." I'm like, no, it's not what you think. I'm not cheating on you. Even though I really didn't want the Innovate either. I just didn't want any of it. I was like, I'm doing an experiment for this case. And she thought I was lying. I was like, no, I'm really patching it up for this case. I just wanted to see if it made you like, if it changed your, like, if you got like angry or, temperamental. And then I asked my friend if I could patch her up and see if she got temperamental. And she said no. I said, come on, let me just put 2 black patches on you one day. And she said that's probably not going to be a good, like, you gotta take it and see what it does. Yeah, it was great. So did you feel like killing someone on Thrive? No, definitely did not. I think it works, but I think once you stop taking it, like I said, you blow up on the spot. So because these people would take this stuff, but they don't work out. That's why when Chris was taking it and working out, it was like producing double time, like double rewards almost. What did, Chris would go for runs or, and Shanann never did that. Shanann didn't work out. These people just did 3 steps, but they never worked out. And that's what my cousin was saying. She's like, well, you don't have to work out if you take this. I was like, what? I was like, no. That's not good for you. Don't work out. Don't do anything. Just take this stuff. Yeah, I'd say no too. I was literally on Thanksgiving break and I was like, come on, let's just patch it up. She's like, you're crazy. I was like, no, your boyfriend's crazy because he just tore up your house. Maybe he's the one on Thrive. He just ruined her. He wrecked her house.
Did Chris ever get drug tested when he got arrested? Was he doing other drugs at all? Yeah, Chris wasn't a druggie. So I don't know if he got drug tested. But yeah, she did. That's true. Oh my god, hallucinating. Sleep deprived can cause brain damage for extended amount. Well, neither one of them were sleeping. She's texting it all night, and then she even says that when she was then in Arizona, she then didn't meet out for dinner on Friday night. But yet, here we go. Cindy Dorsett says, "Oh, I had dinner with Janelle on Friday night." No, you didn't. She didn't make it out. Cindy Dorsett's just a little fibber. Let's just change her name to Dorsett the Fibber. She's like, "No, I'm not fibbing. I swear Chris Miller was Chris Watts. I didn't know any difference." Yeah. Cindy's facts are a little off, guys. I know lots of people that fake workout on for Facebook. You guys, you want to hear something funny? One of my Facebook friends, she is back at it. She is, promotes God knows what. Every morning, she's now posting on her story, her story on Facebook. She does home workouts. She has to wear half, only like a sports bra and like leggings or whatever. But every video, she has to have her cats in her videos. And I'm like, how are you working out with hairballs all over you? And then you're dancing to some song, doing a shake, and then here comes your pussycat walking right across the camera. And you're just dancing up to some random 80s song. And life's just great. And she's got a six-pack. And she just wants you to know that you can have one too if you just do these workouts at home with her and her furball. So we're going grocery shopping and my activewear. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, she's a new year, new you worker out. Or no, she is. No. You guys, I'm going to have to post her on my community tab because, God, can you just imagine if she ever saw that though? She'd be like, what? Oh, girl, I'm just promoting your product. Look at you. You look fab. Are you still trying to find out where the 10K went, Lana? I think it was stashed. Oh God, I'm embarrassed for them. I'm like, oh yeah, these new running shoes, they're my house shoes. Oh no. Oh. I have a question. How did KK do this every single day? Talk about just one thing, the autopsy, all day, every day. Can somebody please tell me how, like, maybe in the house, in her office. I'd like to know, how much money that those trips cost, like the plane tickets. When they went to San Diego, then she went to Arizona. They act like that stuff's for free, but it's not. I don't think it was $10,000 worth, but I think she said she paid her dad's flight. Man, are you gonna go live for 10 hours and talk about the autopsy? No, bitch, I'm not.
Lana, can I talk about your, your digital evidence? No, because then you're just gonna mess it up. Lana, just come on my channel. Everybody wants you to come on, girl. No. I go way more places in my slippers than I should. I know, me too. What if Shan Watts took it to Arizona for the spending money? She spent the $10,000. Um, um, plus all that be kind BS. You feel welcome and you don't question her. Yeah, she's a she's a professional, guys. You know, she's as fake as they come. Is there a way to obtain airport cams exist? Not unless you can hack. I'm not a hacker. Why don't you call Kraft and Barnes? Heard he's fresh out the pen. Ask if he can break Chris Watts out of prison. Probably just spit him on patches. Oh my god, I stayed awake an extra just for you. The new T would just want to bust in here. I'm just being silly now. That makes sense. Getting ready to leave, I guess. It's all guessing though, stuff like that. I just know that it's missing because say missing it. It was money that you were supposed to be using on stuff that you didn't. So what did you do with it? If you weren't paying your mortgage and you didn't have the daycare, price tag on right there. Like I said, that's $5,300 that you didn't spend 1 month. Lana, you gotta be exhausted. No, girl, I have 4 patches on. I'm thriving, girl. What do you think, T? You think there was some stashing of some money going on, possibly? What if she was buying Thrive to get free Thrive? $10K isn't hard to spend. Huh. She had word salad for days. Chris, yeah, we are telling anyone, but here is my cell phone. What? Other odd thing about Chris Watts in first Coder interview, he gives Coder baby's birth date password, which he just found out was the password. Coder asks, you know what the sex? Chris, yeah, we aren't telling anyone, but here is my cell phone. Nah, no money. You don't think there was money? Well, then what? So much to discuss. Please keep this going. I think many people are seeing the light. Bling is the new black. I like that name. Then what do you think when Shanann wasn't making the mortgage payments and didn't have the, the Primrose payment? Wouldn't there be extra money in said account, in the checking account? The house was in Chris' name, so her leaving would leave Chris deep in debt and she'd be gone. No, it doesn't matter when a house is in someone's name. When you're married, they're still going to get half. That's just not how it works. she would have gotten half. They were both going to get half of the expenses and half of the debt. There's no, you know. Cup of Star says that she was stashing it to leave. And I'm saying that I don't know. Let's see, she would have been, yeah, if they don't make the August payment, that they would have been 3 months behind with just the mortgage. So that's $2,800 per those 3 months. So like, what'd you do with that money instead of paying? You had to do something with it. And I believe Hey, Jackie. Hey. They're they were heading to be filing bankruptcy again. She must have been hiding the mail, and he must have never opened any bills, which was another thing. Don't know many people who receive paper statements anymore. I was just gonna say that a lot of online stuff, but like the HOA thing came in the mail on July 12th, 13th, something like that. When she was in North Carolina, that piece of mail about the HOA and, you know, that hearing and whatnot, that came when she was in North Carolina. But they couldn't afford their lifestyle house payment as it was, so there really wouldn't be extra money laying around from not paying a mortgage they couldn't afford. I did some math on it, and they were basically like, it's okay. The way I budget my money is a lot different because I like to go out and do things. They weren't doing anything. Like I go to Rudy's and spend $100. You know, it's just how did they work their budget out? Like, I didn't see any videos of like Shanann going and like, I mean, what were they buying the kids and were they going out to eat? I didn't see a lot of that. Like I spent a lot of money going out to eat. I like to do that though. Like I like to mingle. But they didn't do that. What did they do with their money? I don't think they had a budget. Didn't you do a budget, Lana? I did do a budget for them. Man, it's so freaking all over the place. My head feels like a word. According to NA, they got lots of mail. How they didn't make any payment blows my mind. When they had the money, they don't spend it on Primrose effing Watts. He was in money. Shit, not her. So I think Chris Watts would be okay with it. They could file it again. I mean, I wanted to know how they were able to get credit cards after they filed the first round of bankruptcy. Like, no one's just handing you out credit cards until I think like a year or two. And they're not like high amounts. So how did they have these credit cards after filing bankruptcy in 2000 and what 15? Is that the year they filed bankruptcy? No, when did they move into that house? Was it 17? No. Oh, I can't remember. I like to DoorDash. No budget. Robbing Peter to pay Paul and travel to look successful. But okay, if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, who's Peter? What are you robbing? They were doing it with credit cards. But that's the thing is, um, after the bankruptcy, their credit cards should have been way more tighter, if not like not even having them. Co-signers, maybe. I thought about that. Here in Canada, if you file bankruptcy, you can't get an unsecured credit card for like 7 years. It stays on your, yeah. Uh, you can. It's you can't. You don't have to wait 7 years to file bankruptcy again. Well, they had huge limits on the first go round, but on the second one, like they had these cards, but they didn't have huge limits on them. I think it was like a 3,001, maybe a 1,500, like, maybe it was two 3,001s. Um, I just don't understand how their credit score wasn't completely wrecked. Unless were both of their names put on the bankruptcy? Was there a chance that one of them wasn't? I can't remember, but I just thought to myself, I'm like, how do you rip out a bankruptcy and then you're just poof, like, um, back in with credit cards. Chapter 7, chapter 13, you just don't file the same chapter exactly. Yeah, the HOA would put a lien on your house immediately. Like they lien you. They're not, when you go to sell your house, you're paying them. Um Also, like, they could have refinanced, but that property was worth a lot more than it was at the time that they bought it. So sell the house, and you don't have to downsize crazy style. Um, but I don't think Shanann was honest about what she was making. I mean, $60,000 a year in just paying for Primrose and your mortgage. That's it. $60K. Just let that sink in. let that sink in for a minute. And you're like, I think they had two. They had two credit cards, I believe. They had two. That it is crazy because you guys, it's not just crazy to you. That's crazy. Period. When you think about, okay, those two bills, that's it. We're talking Primrose and we're talking your mortgage, 28 and 25. It was like $1,200 a month per kid to go to Primrose full time. Yes. Um, there's no way they were receiving government assistance. They make too much money. I don't know what they'd be receiving government assistance for. Do you think that Shanann was thinking of doing the same thing with Car House, which did? No. No, I don't. Well, okay, so this is what they never had talks about anything like this. They never talked, they never communicated. Their communication was through text message. They never talked. They didn't, what adulting went on, like when they're at, she's in Arizona, he's there, she's in North Carolina, what adult type of texting went on or talking? Oh, the AC guy's coming over. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna sign us up for the NFL ticket. What? That's $200 extra a month. What are you talking about, Shanann? And he's like, no, I got the fire. That's why I'm gonna get the fire stick. So, don't do that. She's talking about signing them up for NFL ticket. When I saw that, I'm like, is this woman living in La La Land? Like, B, you didn't even pay your mortgage this month. And you're talking about signing, I get it. You want to watch the Steelers and you live in Colorado. I get that. I understand that. But Pittsburgh gets national attention. But when I saw that NFL ticket, I'm like, I mean, where's the talks about their, hey, just I think no sense of reality. Yeah, how are you going to Aspen? There's no money to go to Aspen. But Chris said that. There was a credit card statement in her dad's name on her desk in the office, which my question would be then is, her parents just filed bankruptcy too. How do they have credit cards? Yeah, daycare is crazy expensive. Did the girls had to go? No, they didn't have to. No. Those kids were on a great schedule. They napped still. They took long naps. Your husband gets home, from work because he goes in early. That's just when you have to like kind of restructure, like, when he gets home, the kids. Like, there's people that can watch your kids at houses. Nicole Atkinson's family, that's what they did. Her sister watched kids. I looked all that stuff up. There's other options. There's the reality and the adulting and I don't know how you wouldn't be stressed out if you were Shanann and you come home or you're at home every day and, well, actually you were away for 6 weeks, but the definition of insane is repeating the same, thing over and over. And you can't expect something to change if you don't change your pattern of behavior and you don't change it. So, About the Benadryl. Yeah, they gave the kids Benadryl. They slept a lot, guys. I mean, they were in bed at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Um, Yeah, it is hard. It is too much sleep. I don't think they should be giving kids Benadryl. He told me that and this is what Cindy said as well, that he told Shanann, we can't afford to go to Aspen. And she's like, I already booked it. And she was upset, and she's like, so then you can go ahead and cancel it. Like, because she wasn't going to do it. So, but you know how when you make reservations places, you don't pay for it until you get there, so you can cancel. Like, it's, so do I think that they had like a reservation that money had already come out? No. Again, that would be on a financial card though. Like, that stuff would be easy to track. But what really irks me about that whole thing is that Rourke getting on the podium and saying he was planning a vacation to Aspen with his girlfriend. What? No, he wasn't. Shanann planned the vacation. Shanann asked for the babysitter, Amanda Thayer, asked her if she'd watch the kids. So why are you lying? Chris wasn't planning to go to Aspen with Nicole Kessinger. But if he was, then they would be having a threesome because Shanann's going to. I think Aspen's expensive. I was just looking it up because I was like, oh, when I was in Denver, I was like, oh, how far is Aspen? What's that, 4 hours? Dude, just a hotel alone in Aspen's like $400 for the night. I mean, and then how about this? Shanann's not a skier. Who goes to Aspen in August? What are they going to do in Aspen in August? So I take it back on how expensive it would have been. It would have been not as expensive as, going for a ski trip. But Aspen, August, what are you going to go do there? 4 hours. And then who goes to Aspen? And at first she asked Amanda Thayer, oh, can you watch the kids on Friday or Saturday? Who goes to Aspen for Friday and Sunday? Like, that's like a long, I don't know, but just. Yeah, he didn't read it. $10K Aspen. Roast marshmallows on the bearskin rug. Who wants to go to Aspen? In August, so Chris was like, Shanann, we can't afford this. We don't have any money. We have to pay our mortgage. No, we're going to Aspen, baby. Like, okay. To do what? Fight? To what? Be on our cell phones? Probably what? To get massages. Okay, that costs money. we're gonna eat out. I mean, no, we'll just put it on the credit card. What? I will say this, that it's very uncommon for people to get divorced while someone's pregnant. Have you ever, I mean, think about your, like, that's, I don't even think you can get divorced when someone's pregnant. Right? Don't you have to wait till they're not pregnant to get divorced? Expensive even in summer. Aston would have been a good Facebook post, though. I had a home in Vale. Shit's expensive. Vale. Heather must have been there with you. No, it's Blair. Who's Heather? It's Blair, love. Do you know anything about the supposed CPS case? There is no CPS case. That 2014 stuff. Chris didn't know anything about it. Cindy Ronnie, nothing. I looked at every angle with that as well. And the person who was pushing that narrative was Gina, KK's puppy. And she told me that, I mean, listen to these idiots. Gina, first of all, told me that Jim flew in from Wisconsin the day of the murders, and that he was at the airport and overheard the cops talking about, oh, you'll never believe it, but Sandy Rusick flew in, you know. And I'm like, Gina, who are you to spread these lies? Jim wasn't coming in and didn't live in Wisconsin at the time. He was living in Denver. Like, where do you get your information from? Oh, wait, that's right. You just make shit up. And then KK, yeah, they would just make shit up. Nobody took it that way. Mama 3, you're the best. We love you. That will not. What? Reconnection, so sad. I hope no one took. Yes. Yeah, that was nothing. It had to do with something that passed. Oh, that came from Gina Dietz. Jenna Dietz. But it came from Gina. Gina calls me up and says, you need to talk to this person. You need to talk to that person. And her little voice. And she's like, I talked to Dietz and she told me that, and it was about that she's an automatic reporter because of what she does for a living. And that she was the one that while she was a nurse and Shanann was shadowing her, whatever, when she worked at the hospital, she reported Shanann to CPS. And I said, what? And she said, yeah. I mean, this woman, Gina, said, yeah, she, that Shanann went ham on one of the kids. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, where do you get off making this shit up, Gina? Like, dude, all these people did was just make shit up all the time. My kids are 30 and son 28, and both are married and out the door. Thank God. But something did happen between Dietz and Shanann. Mm. Well, according to Cindy, did she end up sending me those text messages? According to Cindy, Dietz went off on her about Chris. And that she always thought something was off with Chris when he lived with her. It was really weird. But it was absolutely the polar opposite of what Gina P said. And like I said, that's why I didn't listen to what people said. I didn't do any part of that with my stuff. All my stuff is straight investigating the discovery and destroying it and taking it apart, but I didn't listen to anything that any of these people had to say, and nor did I put it out. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Gina, I would write with Chris, and who gives a fuck? What's good, Irving? What's good? Heard this is where the party's at. Yeah, woo woo. Well, according to Cindy Watts, that's not what she wrote Cindy in a text. Gina, Dietz went to my. She's a Cincinnati grad. Whoop whoop. Wow, you sounded just like her. So why the friendship broke up? Like I said, that's all rumors out there, so don't believe any of that shit. I'm telling you right now. All that stuff is shit stirring from Gina. Lana. Lana, now you caused me to lose my relationship with the Watts. I just wanted to talk about my garden with Cindy. Well, then you should have just kept your mouth shut. Yes, they did. I'm telling you, though, it's proof that without a doubt, 150% take to the bank. Nicole Atkinson was in that home prior to when they all walked in. And she had Shanann's phone. And she took it when she went to the doctor's office to go for that drive to see if she went, and went to that. It was like a stage drive by. She had her phone. And it sent off that message when Amanda Thayer messaged. And the Primrose call happened, 8:30 in the morning. Sandy, hadn't even called her daughter, just calls Primrose. Why? Makes zero sense. Calls 3 times and then says, don't tell anybody that I called here. And the other time, oh, no, everything's fine. Thanks for clearing that up. Been wondering about it. Thought it would explain Primrose. Which would? Thanks. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Yeah, all I can say, this is all hearsay, even like what you're, that's just why I never even um put zero stock into everything people have said in this case because it's mm-mm. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Think about joining Truth and Transparency, become a member, join the fam. It's gonna be great. Whoop whoop. I'll be doing episode 2 tomorrow of the Lindsey Pardon case. Pardon the Atlanta interruption. Lindsey Pardon is trying to get her back into the courtroom here, and actually the case is in Ohio. But yep, episode 2 is tomorrow. This is Fight for Families, one of the cases. So, like I said, you guys are all great. So come back and join me, loves. Thank you, Canadian Mama. Hey, Lana, any idea why Sandy told the school, forget I even called? Yeah, because she had a cover for NA. That's why. Yep, you guys are great. And talk to you guys soon. Well, good night, guys. Christopher Lee Watts is a pain in my ass. All right, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Can I please promote your channel? Yeah, why can't you? I don't know how to how do you want to promote my channel? Hazard Girl Promotions Official. Is it are you promoting it in a strip club? Because I would thoroughly enjoy that. Thank you. All right, y'all. You're amazing. Thank you, Heather. Appreciate that. Thank you, Lana. Nice meeting you all. Have a good night. Angie70, thank you for being here. All the new people, you guys rock. Come by whenever. Thank you, Heather W. Like I said, it was awesome to see some. Yeah, share it away, baby girl. It's awesome having new names in chat and yep, all those good things. So, Stephanie, I need space. Rocket Man. So, thank you for answering questions. That might have been hard to get straight answers on. I appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome, Jen. All the normal promo stuff for free. Rock on. Yes. Just share it in the strip clubs too. Where was Gotti? I'm just looking at some of the new names in chat. Cup of Stars. Jen, again, all the new peeps. You guys sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Meow. Oh wait, Steph. Good night. Thanks. This was fab.